Yesterday we was discussing the Mechiras chometz. So there's a few minor things that I want to continue a little bit on first. First of all, I want to explain. We spoke that the shtar that you sign by when you come to the rabbi to authorize you to sell the chometz is called a shtar hashor. That means you're authorizing the rabbi. You're not selling him the chometz, but you're authorizing him. Then there's a shtar that's called the shtar mechira. So, for curiosity, I happen to have Rabbi Dvorkin shtar mechira, and we do it. We have an easy way to do it. The whole thing is typed up. It's a long shtar, except that this year I had to make 3 changes in the shtar from the standard shtar, because it said in the other shtar, it said that shall call on now. Hirshu oisi. Oisi means the rabbi that's telling him. Lim kahako be'erev Pesach the high shaita. Now erev Pesach high shaita is Shabbos, so I had to change that out, and I put in the word ufnei erev Pesach the high shaita, which means before. Also, when we sold it to the goy, so we told the goy that this is an absolute sale, and you could do business, sell it to whoever you want, but you don't have to pay for it right after Pesach. You have 3 days after Pesach to sell, to keep selling. What's the cheshbon that we do this in? Because we want to give him an incentive to be able to make money. So we say to him, during Pesach, you can only sell to Goyim. After Pesach, you could also sell. You can sell to Yidden also. So now you have a bigger market. So in the shtar that we always use every time, it used to say that he has time to pay up b'meshach. It used to say shneim osa yom, because if you count from Erev Pesach and add 3 days after Pesach, so it's 12 days. But now that we're selling it on Friday, so I had to change it, and I put in the words of b'meshach shlosh osa yom, with 3 days, because it shows stimmen with the shtar. The trouble is that there's some people that sell chometz don't even read what the shtar says, they just sign things. Now, over here, after it talks over here about selling the chometz and everything, so it used to say, ume'ata, and now, everything is nikna to the goyim, b'lishum shir, b'lishum tanai, unconditional, without any reservation or limitation. Over here, I changed it now, and I put in the words, V'al yidei ha'kinyonim she'oisim sha'ata, through the that we're doing now, yiyeh nikna kol ha'chometz l'chalutin, that means absolutely, b'li shum tanai v'shia, no unconditional, and chal, l'eini Yehudi, moichus ksav zeh, hayom, 7 p.m. In other words, we're making the kingdom now, but the guy is kind of by 7 o'clock.
This year it'll be Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it says hayom, 7 p.m.
Right.
Other Rabbanim don't change it.
They leave it till 5 in the morning.
Till Shabbos morning.
Till Shabbos morning or Friday morning?
Shabbos morning. Friday morning is the whole day is mutter. You don't have to sell it. Mm-hmm. Now, what's the shayla? There is a Rabbi Kiva Eger that holds that you can't make a kinyan before Shabbos that should be chal on Shabbos. Not everyone agrees with it. So if we don't follow the Rabbi Kiva Eger, so we can make that the kinyan should be Shabbos morning, 7 o'clock. If we do make follow the Rabbi Kiva Eger, then we have to make that the kinyan should be chal before Shabbos. That's why I put that in. One of the advantages of doing this is when people were going, yesterday we spoke about it a little bit. If people were going to Eretz Yisrael for Pesach, so we were told them that they should sell the chometz in Eretz Yisrael. Why? Because now with Moshe in Eretz Yisrael, it's 12 o'clock at night. Okay? So if on a normal Erev Pesach, if we are selling the chometz in the morning, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning, so 10 o'clock in the morning in Eretz Yisrael is already close to the Seder. But now if we go with the approach of 7 o'clock, so in Eretz Yisrael it'll be in the middle of the night. But L'Poyel, before the Zman Issa. The only Shabbos you can say is make a kinyan on Shabbos. So there's different days that you can rely on.
Now, is there a problem Friday night when I'm eating chometz that belongs to the guy?
Oh, so in the star that I made over here, I made this for myself. I made it for some rabbis also that asking. I have added on the bottom over here a few things that are not in the star. They're not in the star because if Zalman Shimon didn't want to make any shinuyim, the star is basically the nusach of Alter Rebbe. He didn't want to make shinuyim. So, for example, I write over here, Noisef al kol anal. In addition to all this is for the rabbi that's arranging it, that he should, it's notes to him that he should discuss it. The first thing is, Lasas kinyan chalipim, hagoy, nois and chayfetz, shaloi, laharav. In other words, we make a number of kinyanim. I think I explained yesterday about the kinyanim, no? We have kesef, he gives a deposit. We have shtar, the document. We have kinyan agav, because he's renting the places of the chometz, which is like in the chosam, and the chometz is the metaltram. So the chosam ein la machayis, nikdim chosam sheyesh la machayis, because it's shtar b'chazokam. So that's a third kinyan. We give him the keys, and by giving him the keys, that's in the place of a kinyan meshicha. Because normally, when Rabbi Yankov lived next door to John, and he gave the chometz, he sold him the chometz, so he gave him the actual chometz, and he picked it and took it to his house. So there was a meshicha. But over here, you can't do a meshicha because you're talking about chometz from all over. There's no chometz on the table, actually, by Shasta Mechira. So the state that giving him the key to it is like doing a meshicha, because through the keys he has access to get them a chometz.
He doesn't have keys to all the houses.
That doesn't matter, but there was a kinyan of Mashiach in the Mechira.
Which keys?
Any keys. Any keys. Then also we do what's called a handshake. It's a very important thing, a handshake.
I'll get you.
Now, we don't do chalitm. Why? Because Alter Rebbe had a shaila if chalitm helps by a guy. So therefore he didn't put it in. So the Zalman Shimon also didn't put it in. He would just ask the guy, do you have a knife with you maybe? And he would give him his knife, and in exchange for that, that's a kinyan chalipim. So I'm reminding over here, number one is Noisev Akol Anal. Last says kinyan chalipim. And what does it mean? Hagoy Noisen Chayfet Shaloi L'Harav. Okay, that's number one. Number two is Levakish Rishus, to ask permission. Shebeim tzrichim, if it's necessary, yichayim u'ikones ba'ofen aray ba'makaymes sheniskru. In other words, it's not your property. You rented it to someone. So what right do you have to come in to pick up the mail, let's say? So ask him for permission if you have to come in.
Are you renting him the property or renting the closets that are?
You could be. It depends. You could be renting him the whole room. You could, or take a look. Another thing. Now here's another very important thing which we spoke about yesterday. It said lahasners to make a condition. Shamishtamesh ba'chometz ay meichray loy yigram lebitul hamechira. It wouldn't cause Iraq. Yenaku mehachako shagoy chayiv v'shalom avur hachometz mashenechsa me'es hamechira. In other words, it will just be reduced. Let's say that at the time of the mechira at a Pesach, so the chometz, you had $1,000 of chometz there. Now the guy, the Yid sold some of the mecharim, so the guy will not owe $1,000. He'll owe, let's say, only $800 or $900.
Because sometimes by the fact that you start doing, if you start eating the chometz you sold, it shows that you broke your deal. You don't
That's
really.
what others want to say that. Others want to say that.
That's why we add that.
But,
Tell them, don't worry, it's
the
covered.
popular opinion of Moshe Feinstein and the Rebbe and many others is that it doesn't sell. It's not about the mechiras and mechira.
Even though the guy's going against what he said the other
Right.
day.
I got to have a shayla yesterday. There was
Yeah, but if you show an action that's exact opposite of what you do,
there's
you break it.
a
Right,
younger
so
man.
there's a halacha like that.
His brother-in-law. He's a rabbi in Monticello, New York, and he called me up. He spoke to me. I met him yesterday. Got there. I was up in the mountains yesterday. So we were discussing over there that he has a lady that owns a liquor store, and she wants to sell the chometz because people, inquire about it, and she wants from him a letter that she sold the chometz. And
But she's
I
open.
told him one condition. One condition. See, my cheshbon was, if the store is open during Yontif, so you'll say all the chometz after Pesach, whatever's in the store after Pesach is okay because it was sold, right? And it was sold. But what happens if she orders a case of vodka on Chal Moed? That case wasn't sold. So I said, we'll give her a letter with the condition that she doesn't buy anything new, doesn't stock anything new in her inventory. Only buy, if you know the cheshbon, what you usually keep replacing to make it before Yontif. She didn't like that condition. So I told China stay away from it. Don't get involved. But because after Pesach, a Yid will come in and buy, and he might buy that case. So that explains this part over here. Another thing is to let the guy know. There are people. They lease kol beisam v'loy Hamakayim shachometz nimsa sham v'yesh maskirim. They lease. In other words, there's people. Someone was with me today. I'm not going to be home Pesach. They have to be by the chometz. I said it depends. If you rent your house out for over Pesach, so he doesn't chometz in the whole house. So normally people they put the chometz away in a closet or someplace in a cupboard or. And that's what the guy is renting, those places. Over here I'm saying that there's people that are leasing the entire house. Now, and in addition to that, there's people that there are shemaskirim, they lease kol mischorim, kegain nursing homes. Person has a nursing home. He's leasing the whole business. And it's not a Yiddish business during Pesach. But and the final thing that I put in on this year is to add what you're asking, lahasnais in my guy, to make a kaddish with the guy, shehachomet shetzlichem avur hashabbos lo nichnas b'mechira zu. It's not included in the sale, and whatever you didn't eat up on Shabbos for what you left over for Shabbos, that you mekayim tashbisu by flushing it down in the toilet. So this is
why do you have to write it in?
what?
Why do you have to write that in? You're not selling it that's it.
Well, you're telling you, you're not selling it. You're telling that you're not selling
You're
it.
making a deal at 7 o'clock. He thinks he's getting everything at 7 o'clock. Letting him know that the stuff that we're eating for tomorrow is not in there. That's all.
He knows what's there.
Guy gets a translation.
If you want to know what's there, listen, if you want to start playing
Just
that,
for
then the whole thing is no.
Curiosity, boys, this is Reb Zalman Shimon. He would write up this whole thing that you see over here. He would write it up by hand. He was an old Rav, you know. And not only that, but he would sew to this here, to attach here, the people that signed it, not what all the people send them
Not
in.
the names.
No.
Only
No,
those in person.
that came to him, his data shows. The others he packed in a bag or whatever. But this is what it looked like.
Wow.
It's just
It's you have to read that.
You have it?
Super. The Chassan Kal will never get out of the chuppah.
Is that when you used to write a new one?
every year he'd write a new one.
Okay. It's from Pesach to Pesach. Yes,
He can't use the same one because there's a date in here.
What's the underlined?
Maybe I underlined it. I don't know. Af prote ha-chometz shaloi nirshu or shaloi. I can't read the word of it.
And he read this whole thing and he explained it to the guy word by word.
That was my job.
That was your job. You were the translator.
Okay. We added some things over here. In the beginning, we added also. I don't think he has it in his star. That people that sold me last year forgot to sell this year
Oh, you told me that once.
are also included. He doesn't have it in his star, but when we made up this star, because the first there was a booklet that was given out by Rabbi Levin, about Mechiras chometz. So there was nuschos that we got from other places. From also Rabbi Henkin in the Ezra's Torah gave out a nusach, and I think there's a word or two that came from.
But Henkin also did with the Arav Kaban?
No. And Zelig Shashtin, I think. But that's just that the people that are going to come later, or people that come every year, and then it's just a few words up on top. But otherwise, it's really basically word for word from here, and it's also the same nusach without the Rebbe printed in the Shulchan Aruch.
Why did he write it? Why did he write it every year, a new year? Why did he do it?
Because you need a new document.
He wasn't know why he wrote it. He could have
Why?
typed it
I don't
in.
know. He's an older Rebbe, so that was.
He didn't have a
It was a whole
typewriter.
thing. Just like when they for the Rebbe also they wrote a new start every year. A start
Did he write it out?
Who?
Did Pekorsky write it?
No, Reb Shmuel used to get a bucher. One year I wrote
You wrote
it.
it?
I mean, yeah, he gave it to me later, but I don't know where it is. But
Now, why the Shtam Shechira, when you give it to the goy, you explain to the goy what is the Shtam, right?
yeah,
Why it's not translated to English? You don't want the Shtam.
the truth is, I have in English the whole thing,
Yeah.
and
But the guy understands what's going on.
I give it to the guy and say, if you want to review it, that's his. That's
One year he had the Shabbos guy. He read the sat there, read the thing.
that's it. Yeah.
He sat and read the
So
thing.
you don't translate it to the boy, you just have to read that if you want.
This is the style that we use, and
he just explains it
and that I translate and explain. But I give him just the Yitzhak, and I tell him, here you have it in English.
Because it's a real. Then it's a real cell.
Yeah, to make
It has to be
Now-
real.
now,
It's not,
also, a very important part of the Shah, which I hope everyone, there's a lot of shluchim that are doing, with the janitor or what, but I hope that they also know that you have to buy back the chometz after Pesach. It's not enough just to sell the chometz, but you have to buy back the chometz, because it says, if you don't buy back the chometz, it looks like a joke, it looks like a harama. Some hold that the whole mechira looks like a harama. But according to the Alter Rebbe holds that it's a mechira gemura, but you have to buy back. And the interesting thing is that, if anyone remembers, that by the Rebbe's Verbrengen,
He would leave.
when it came about 9 o'clock at night, Reb Zalman Shem would pick himself up and leave the Verbrengen. Rabbi Jacobson, on the other hand, did not leave. He made up with the guy to buy back in the morning. Now, the truth is, the buying back is to make it look official. That it should look official.
ceremonial.
But if you didn't buy before you buy it back, Marshall, the pizza shop already is making pizza a minute after Havdalah. The bakery is baking a minute after Havdalah, especially if Pesach ended on a Thursday.
Yeah.
He needs challahs for the customers. And the pshat is like this, because after Pesach, it's the guy's chometz till you buy it back. But Mamanavshach, if the guy is going to buy it back, so whatever flour you used up, you pay the guy, because he's buying everything. So, if the guy is not buying it back, so then it's not going to be his. So there's nothing wrong if you took it on the cheshbon, you know that the guy is not going to buy it back. I remember, those who learned in Bedford and Dean, some remember there was a guy named Jimmy. He made the
elevator.
He used to pay him a penny and he'd give you a ride on the elevator. So Rabbi Jacobson sold the chometz to Jimmy. And it so happened that Jimmy had a stroke on Charamayim. And the joke was that the Baba up until for Jimmy's
Because you want to buy a chometz back.
Yeah, but we try to buy it back following the minhag of Zamashim. We buy it back right after Pesach. And we had a guy one year over here in Crown Heights that we couldn't find him. We couldn't find him. Ad kedei kach that I went together with your brother, and we went to the mortuaries, that's the funeral homes, to find out maybe this guy died there. But he showed up in the morning, and we got it back. And did I discuss yesterday the buying back?
Yeah,
I discussed the buying back. Okay, so that's basically what it entails.
In the case of that, if the guy doesn't want to sell it back, you can still take it.
Well, there's stories about that.
You have to pay it.
There used to be, in the little shtettelach, the Yidden would sell to a guy in the shtet, and the galach in shtet would incite the Jew, would incite the goyim against the Yidden. So the galach would tell the people, the guy that bought it, you don't sell it back. You tell them you want to buy it. And they came to the Rav and they asked the Rav, what should we do? So the Rav said, you got to tell them that if you want to buy it, you can't select what you're going to buy. Like you'll say, I'll only buy the liquor. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to buy everything. And B'meila, first start taking out the junky chometz. The junky. He'll see it's a lot of junk over here, so he'll tell you, I changed my mind, I'm not going to buy it. That was one of the stories that they used to tell how they dealt with the guy that wanted to buy the chometz.
They tell the story of it, true. I don't know. They said in the time in the struggle about the Second World War. So there was a Jew owned a big liquor distillery, and he came after Yontif, and the guy said, I'm not selling it back to you. He said he made a deal with him, and he paid him out for it. He paid him, but then a very short period of time after that, the Nazis came, and they destroyed all the Jewish businesses, and he didn't have his business anymore. And the Muslim, they got his money.
This is what I'm telling you. That's only my eitzah is a better eitzah, because my eitzah is to discourage him.
Right.
See, in this case, could be that the story that you're telling, that the Yid sold only the liquor business to the guy.
Yeah, one person.
And the guy figured that the liquor business is good for him.
But here was a nest, because they a week later, they would have taken it away from him altogether. This, he had his money, and that was it.
The Yikazach is, they tell a story that there was a Rebbe that was sitting with his Hasidim, and then he said to his Hasidim that he wants to wish everybody a kosher and purim on a Freilich and Pesach. So everyone was surprised, what kind of bracha is this? He says, he says, purim, I know that it'll be Freilich. But when you're freilich, you do things that are not kosher also. So wünsche ich a kosher Purim. Pesach is when the ganze versorgt and worried, is this good, that'll be kosher, I know, but it will not be freilich. So therefore I'm wishing you a kosher and Purim and a freilich and Pesach.
Very nice.